And Brooke, her family also wanting to make the point that the real hero in all of this is the donor that made all of this possible, something possible now that would not have been possible 2 weeks ago. Brooke.
We wish her and the family well. Jason Carroll, we will look for you. We'll look for the mother, as Anderson said, on AC 360. But at the same time, you know, Sarah's story is raising questions about the fairness of America's transplant policy. So out front, CNN opinion writer Dina Wadala and CNN contributor Raihan Salam. Hello, gentlemen. You know, listen, we just heard the news. She's out of surgery, which is great for her. But Dean, let me begin with you because it's a tricky story. You know, there are 75,000 people on a list for a transplant in the U.S. This young girl and her family, they got everyone's attention, including that of this federal judge. Do you think what they did was fair?
I think for them, and first of all, I just want to say I'm very happy for her. I'm very happy for her family and to live a great life. We all want that. But there's someone else now who doesn't have that lung transplant, and it could be someone else's watching who their son or their daughter or their brother or their sister. So while it's a feel-good story for Sarah and her family, there's someone else now who didn't get that lung transplant because her family went around the rules and took advantage of going to court. And don't forget, 10% of the people on the organ transplant list, unfortunately, don't survive. So someone else is there now with their family, wondering if their child or their brother or sister will survive while Sarah's family can rejoice. So I think going around the system that's been created by medical professionals under federal law is problematic for that because it gets rid of the confidence we need in this system.
At the same time, can you fault this girl's family for banging down the media's door, trying to talk to Secretary Sebelius? I mean, all of the hurdles that they have had to go through. Raihan, do you fault them?
I don't. I think this family was incredibly scrappy and tenacious, and they did everything they could for their daughter, and I'd say more power to them. The bigger issue, however, is that we have a serious shortage of organs. We have an even more serious shortage of pediatric organs. And I think the fundamental problem is that we don't allow compensation for organs. Now, that's an idea that makes a lot of people really uncomfortable. But fundamentally, we either have to do one of two things. You either move to a system in which we presume consent. That is, we assume that everyone who dies in a traffic accident or what have you, has consented to becoming organ donors. Whereas now you have to default into the system. Let's say you have to default out of the system to say you have some big objection. That would definitely increase the supply of organs available for donation. The other thing you can do is simply say that, look, we are going to allow, say, the Medicare system or say some other approach for people who make those donations who are taking a risk. It's not that big a risk, but it is a risk to get some compensation for what they're doing rather than depend only on the kindness of their hearts, because a lot of people are very nervous about that.
Let me jump in, and Dina, I want you to jump in too, because the idea of paying for organs, I mean, there's a list for a reason. There is a list of need and acuteness for a reason. The idea of paying for organs, wouldn't that just mean, hey, whoever has the biggest purse strings, maybe not related to need?
Absolutely not, Brooke. That's absolutely not what it means. That is one system that we could have. We could also have a system in which we say there's only one organization that can compensate people. You can't make your own deals. Rather, let's say, you have the Medicare system say we're going to offer a rate, let's say a modest rate, but we're offering some compensation for the risks that people are undertaking. I think that would make a lot of sense.
I agree with the first word. I like what Raihan said on the first part, that we have an opt-in system where it's assumed, so it gives more organs.
Presumed consent, yes.
Right, other countries do that. It's a good thing. The idea of having any kind of compensation for organs, to me, rubs me the wrong way. I think goes against the spirit of the law.
Other countries do
it runs against the spirit of the law, which was not to allow people who have more money or celebrities to get better treatment under the system. We have to have fairness in the system, so it can't be corrupted by
fairness in which lots of people died because they don't get organs is not fairness at all. You need to increase the number of people who are making donations.
Let me jump in.
Let me jump in. And the poor will suffer and die.
Let's not
absolutely false. 0.03% mortality rate. It's very successful. It's very safe.
Let me just say, and let me end with this, and I talked to a lot of doctors about this story. If you are touched, no matter how you feel, if you're touched by this story, check the box, become an organ donor. Dean and Raihan, thank you very much.